June 7th, I was a poll worker in Long Beach at the Leeway Sailing Center, and I observed many voting irregularities. The most egregious was the discrepancy between the number of Democratic and crossover Democratic ballots that we issued as opposed to the printout that our voting machine gave us at the end of voting. Basically, we had over 300 voters. We passed out 300 ballots. More than half of those were Democratic or Democratic crossover ballots. So there should have been at least 150 Democratic votes in the machine. However, the machine printed out that Hillary Clinton had 60-odd votes and Bernie Sanders had 40-odd votes, making only 110 or so. So it appears that there were at least 40 ballots that were not counted by the machine. Thank you.
One of the two things that I noticed, which are a recurring theme, is people being changed without their permission to something other than a lot were lifelong Democrats that had never registered as anything else, who were showing up as American Independent, Peace and Freedom, or even Republican. And then the large number of people that came in that were vote by mail, who never signed up for vote by mail, which we also had gotten some lavender pages of updates of people that were vote by mail, like a few days before the election. And I had noticed that there were just a large number of them, and then it seemed to correspond with a large number of people who were actually changed without their knowledge, and they were forced to vote provisionally as for the people who were voluntary. Thank you.
At Barrington Plaza. My experience as a clerk, I experienced many, if not all, of the aforementioned issues. Regarding the issue of the missing password, my inspector was not aware there would be a password, and it did not arrive until 8:30 via a robocall on the county-issued cell phone. The problem being, also being that my fellow clerks and the inspector were either not properly trained, and one of them had not bothered to attend training at all, and insisted on giving voters a provisional ballot, despite the fact that you could just slip the ballots into the ballot box. On behalf of a friend who could not be here today to talk about her experience as a vote-by-mail voter, I'd like to recount that story. She received her ballot via mail very late, I think the Friday before primary day. She opened it up and someone had already written on the privacy sleeve in the writing section for President Hillary Clinton. And so she brought it to her polling precinct and to exchange it for a new ballot, and when she got there, despite being at the correct precinct, was not allowed to vote a normal ballot and was given a provisional.
Our most recent California primary displayed how much the system needs to change. Countless rules and additional useless procedures are suppressing our voices as citizens. Our current system is scaring away voters of all generations. As a poll inspector, I could see and feel the frustrations of voters as they were not able to vote for the candidate they wanted, or they were kind of forced to vote provisionally. This California election was clearly unfair, unorganized, and it was not free. Poll inspectors like me get crappy wages for the extra time we put in, and we're paying the price right now with our time and gear. I don't even know how my precinct coordinator got hired. Does the county just hire anybody? Hire me. I trust that the board will do their jobs, conduct investigations, do everything in your own power to win back the trust of California voters who felt cheated. We don't care about associating with parties. We're all human. We're all one. We need more than change. We need a revolution of the mind.
My name is Ryan Lopez, and I'm a student at the University of Southern California. Now, on election day, I went with a friend to their polling location, and while he was waiting to register, I observed a woman who was told she was not on the voter rolls for her precinct and that she had to vote provisional. Now, before that poll clerk could give her a provisional ballot, I suggested that she check the other voter rolls at this precinct, as this location had multiple precincts. When we asked at the table for precinct 9001739A if we could check the roll of voters, we were informed that that precinct had not received, that the county had not delivered an entire roll of voters to that precinct. Furthermore, the poll inspector let me know that after calling the county for over a week regarding a vote counting machine issue, he still had not received an answer and therefore had a broken machine on election day. This is simply unacceptable, and I hope that the county can continue to work with us, the citizens, to make sure that we can come up with solutions so this doesn't happen again in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jones. I'm a physicist at Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I worked as a exit poll volunteer at UCLA, and we questioned all of the voters coming out of that polling location to see how was their vote. And 3 out of 4 of them carried the pink slip, which indicated that they had used a provisional ballot. And the exit poll results, although they're preliminary, are indicating that the percentage of votes for Hillary are 10% and 30%. And this does not compare well against the 55%, which is stated as the California result. A little bit more the students coming out that had used provisional ballots had to do so because the so-called blue list were never delivered to the poll.
District 27 from the Democratic National Convention. I'm here before you to request that you authorize an investigation on the effectiveness and reach of the robocalls, videos, and emails that the Registrar's Office supposedly got out to notify no party preference voters of using crossover ballots instead of provisional ballots. On May 23rd, we delegates from 27 sent a letter to him describing our concern of the upcoming election about the use of crossover Democratic ballots in lieu of provisional ones. As Mr. Logan stated in his response letter to us on May 26th, NPP voters had been informed of options available to them. How many emails and letters were sent and what was stated on the letter? Did it, in fact, let NPP vote by mail voters know that they needed to bring their ballot with them to avoid a provisional one? Furthermore, many first-time voters did not have ID when they voted and subsequently were not told they had until June 15th, tomorrow, to provide it. When and how has that notice been sent? And can you please authorize an extension of that deadline to ensure maximum participation? We will be holding you accountable and to the voters of LA County. Thank you.
Shame on Associated Press for declaring Hillary Clinton the winner on the day before the June 7th California primary election. And shame on MSNBC and CNN for grabbing the story and running with it. The story went global, and it all happened before a single vote was cast. AP impacted what happened next in very negative and misleading ways. To millions of new voters and viewers around the world, it sure sounded like the races were over. So what did happen next? How did AP calling the election before a single vote was cast manifest itself? People shared with me about the hoops they went through just to get registered. Some people weren't going to vote because they thought the race was over. I know because I was still out talking to voters on June 6th and June 7th after the AP release.
Thank you.
I have a written statement, and I have it here, and I have 2 articles from the Los Angeles Times, one by Kathleen Drucker, and now Lessons for November. Everybody should read it because it's a distortion. It says it was a low turnout in California, and that was not true. We have millions of uncounted ballots.
Hi, my name is Christine Chow, and I work as a polling clerk at Monterey Park Service Club on June 7th, California's primary election. I'm speaking as a concerned citizen, voter, and polling worker who witnessed many irregularities at my polling location. There is no vetting of our polling inspectors. There's poor training, lack of care by a lot of polling workers. I apparently was the only one that actually read the manual. I actually filed a formal complaint with LA County Recording Registrar about my polling inspector who was not prepared to do her job. She arrived 50 minutes late, and polls were supposed to open at 7, and we had a line of voters who had to leave and not be able to vote. Another thing that was not good was people who never re-registered find themselves in parties that lifetime Democrats find themselves in American Independent, Peace or Freedom, or No Party Preference. And thank you.
I was actually in Boyle Heights during the day of the primary, and what I witnessed were ballots missing, broken voting machines, unrequested switching party registration, misinformation at the polls, poorly trained staff, voters denied Democratic crossover ballots, incomplete voter rolls, voters purged from the rolls, design concussion, massive push for provisional ballots, 2.5 million ballots now in purgatory because of that, and voter instructions not mailed. I tried to help out the voters, and I was called on the police 3 times at 3 different locations for trying to help voters and let them know of their voting rights. This voter suppression is due to either massive ineptitude of the County of Los Angeles, which warrants drastic changes in our leadership in the Board of Supervisors, which we, the people, will make sure of, or this is a massive, calculated effort to undermine the rights of the hundreds of thousands of voters in the region, in the state, partner, and state, which will undermine and determine the next president of this